So just while Andy's loading that up, if you're new to the show or this segment of the show, this is where we give our Bitcoin price prediction with former hedge fund trader, Mr. Andy Demi. What is likely to happen between the next 7 hours and the next 7 days on the journey that is Bitcoin to its destiny? What is going to be happening next, Mr. Andy?
So this is really, really bullish. So for people that have been kind of watching Bitcoin thinking it's not moving anywhere, right? And you're thinking, oh man, is it going to go down? Maybe you even bought some here, right? Thinking it's breaking higher, and it's not, you know, it's not moving, and you might even be slightly down on your position, you know, potentially. Here's the thing that you need to look at here. That's important. Market, you know, pushes higher, breaks its all-time high, and you know what can sometimes happen is, you know, breaks its all-time high, and then the market, you know, it's almost like that fake out, and then you know all these kind of institutional guys who manipulated people then sell it off, and then the market goes lower, and then everybody panics, gets stopped out, and you get this kind of big move, and then the market then reverses. It kind of feels a little bit like what happened here, right? Where you had these highs, it broke out, big bearish bar, and then the market went lower, and now it's kind of back here. That's kind of typical. What I really like about what's happening here is we've had a really strong move up. Okay, we have what's called a super shallow pullback in Fibonacci terms. That basically means it hasn't pulled back much. And then we go and hit our sort of 144 fib fade area. It's called a fade area, right? So this is an area where, you know, 9 times out of 10 the market will pull back. Okay, it will pull back, you know, to this kind of zone here. What I really, really like here is that the fact that we've gone up so fast, the fact that we've broken its all-time high and then come back, the market has not retraced. What's it done instead? So look at the stochastic RSI. We get to this position here, and the market is holding and holding and holding, building up energy, whilst the stochastic RSI is going to its oversold here, and it comes oversold. So anything under 20 is oversold, and then look how it's now crossing back above 20, whilst Bitcoin has basically been taking a breather. In terms of price action alone, in any normal market, you'd be saying that is exactly what you want to see for a breakout. So right now, the only thing that probably is slightly missing, but sometimes you get it once it actually goes, is volume. Like volume is not quite there. But what I would advise the guys that know what they're doing is to go onto the lower time frames and pick up on volume spikes on the lower time frame. Don't wait. If you're not in Bitcoin and you just want that real confirmation that it's about to go now, I would go to the lower time frames and look for a volume spike on an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart. Because once you see that volume kick in on the lower time frames, you know, you don't want to kind of wait until the daily bar closes, because if the daily bar does that, well, now you're like, oh, okay, I've missed the move. Whereas if you see that beforehand, you might be able to get in before it actually goes. So that's just like a pro tip. Now, so as I said, this is really, really bullish. And what you associate with something like this is where you get an overextension. So the market, if it doesn't pull back to its expected, you know, 38.2 fib, we would expect the market to overextend. And I think, look, you can see we have a really nice upper channel. We've got a nice envelope. We've got the 200 here. So I would like to think, if I box this up, that there's a strong chance that Bitcoin is getting ready to do this. And I think we could be in this vicinity possibly in the next 7 days. So I think we could be up here between 80 and 84K if this scenario plays out.
What's interesting, sorry mate, go on.
No, that's all. Yeah, go ahead, mate.
I was just about to say, so if you look at the charts comparison and the ROI, but just between Ethereum and Bitcoin, if you're new to this, you'll be surprised because actually Ethereum's given a better return on investment. But now, just like for like, we're looking at about that 20-25% move for either one, whether you're going for Ethereum or Bitcoin, is what we're saying over these last two live chart analysis, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the fact that, you know, I think in terms of the next run, yes, I think they could move equally. I still think that overall, like, I think Ethereum might give the better return. Like if you were to buy both and hold them until the end of the year, I'd probably put the horse I would back would be Ethereum to win, like until the end of the year. So if you said to me, look, Andy, choose right now, what's going to perform better, Ethereum or Bitcoin? If I've got £1,000 or $1,000 to put in, I would say Ethereum would win that race, because I think it's still got it's still got more growth than Bitcoin. It's got a lot of catching up to do. And I think actually we could see a scenario, for the reason that I said at the beginning of the show, where one day Ethereum has a bigger, maybe Ethereum's going to be number one, and it's going to take over Bitcoin at some point.
Yeah, you can see it with a lot of, yeah, definitely. Even like you look into the NFT space and it's all about fusing Ethereum and gaming and NFTs. But the best ones are going to be the ones that utilize the Ethereum tech and protocol. There's a lot being said around that. So I could get behind that for sure. Just from that alone, looking at gaming and NFTs, let alone everything else that you said earlier on in your breakdown about Ethereum. And that's why your biggest holding is in Ethereum, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good balance between, you know, potential for growth, but also controlling risk. You know, you're not going to have Ethereum for like you could have a smaller project, you know, die, basically. It can go to zero, or it can drop 90%. You know, with the more established coin, yeah, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum, we've seen them drop 50%, 60%, whatever, but they're just much more, you know, they're much more likely to be stable in any pullbacks. And that's what I kind of like. So it's about having a balance for me. So putting him in a project that I think has got a lot of growth, but it's already really, really well established. I like that idea, but I also think, as I've always said, diversify into smaller projects that can 100x, 200x, 1000x, because that well-balanced portfolio is going to really help, and it's going to help you get the kind of returns that you need. If you put all your money into Bitcoin and Ethereum, unless you've got millions, you're not going to make life-changing money because they're already super big already. So a 5x return or a 3-4x return isn't going to be life-changing if you've only got, you know, 500 or 1,000 to invest.